What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Norse Outdoors. Today we're doing another ice report and ice forecasting video. This is our third so far this winter. Again, we love doing these videos because one, we go on an ice fishing trip every single year to Lake of the Woods. This year we're doing our trip in mid-January, and so we're really interested in ice conditions up at Lake of the Woods specifically, just because we love doing the ice fishing trip. So with that all being said, if you haven't watched the other two ice forecasting videos, they're super cool. If not, you just stick with this video and I'll explain it. So Gus made this tool. He's a member of Norse Outdoors that kind of predicts ice thickness based on a couple different metrics. Primarily, though, it is taking into account temperatures. So we use the temperatures reported at the Baudette International Airport to help us predict ice growth on Lake of the Woods. So I'm going to throw up the graph that Gus is working on here, and I'm going to look at it alongside you guys. So again, we've looked at this graph in the past two videos, but we're going to keep looking at it. So today is December 19th, 2024. So we do a 3-day moving average for every single year. You can see this year in the gray at 2024, the 3-day moving average up to this point, as well as forecasted, which is the gray dotted line. So today is the 19th, so we'll be getting, reported data averaging out in our 3-day moving average. But as you can see, we are, right kind of on track with where we should be in December. A good kind of point of comparison is the pink. That's 2023. That was last year, and that was a really rough ice making conditions. But we've got the last 5 years, and it's pretty average. This year, we're kind of looking and predicting some serious temperature swings. I know we're just getting out of a nice cold front that made a lot of ice for us, and moving into another cold front actually here in the next couple days starting today. It's going to be really cold up there, great for ice making conditions, and then it's going to warm up kind of the week of Christmas, so it'll be really awesome fishing because we'll have plenty of ice to set up before Christmas. And so I'm predicting the weekend after Christmas to be really good fishing, honestly, with that warm up. With that being said, I also like to show this graph up here. It's their 3-day moving average, except for this time we're kind of clumping all the good ice making years together. So that's from 2019 to 2022. So excluding last year, we took that one out because that was a historically bad winter. So we're just comparing to the good winters and seeing where we're at. So like I was saying earlier, big swings, but we're kind of averaging where we should be for ice making conditions. With that all being said, another graph I like to show is this ice growth graph. So you can see how many inches of ice are made depending on the freezing degree day, and they say if you average below freezing, you're going to make ice. And with that being said, conditions vary on Lake of the Woods. There's current, there's wind. So this isn't necessarily a one-size-fits-all to every single lake, but it is a really good tool to kind of predict how much ice we're going to grow based on temperature. So this one's kind of interesting, the month view one, and I'll show that up here. So if we averaged what temperature, how many inches should we be getting? And so if we look back to our monthly average, we're kind of predicting about to average out to pretty much 2019 through 2022. So let's just call it like 20 degrees, right? And I'm looking at this gray line moving up and down and trying to average that number. So if we go back to the ice growth over a month chart, we can see, okay, so at 20 degrees is the purple line. So this graph, if the whole month of December remains, about 20 degrees as your average temperature, we should be at about 16 inches of ice. And that kind of brings me to some ice reports and where we're at now. So again, it's only December 19th, so we have more time making ice. And so it's super exciting to see a couple of these ice reports from Lake of the Woods. So Wes Harder, he goes out of Swift Ditch, which is kind of south central of the lake. He's allowing half tons and smaller vehicles to the end of his road so that you can drive to the fish houses that he puts out there by the end of this week is what he said. Now he did come out with another just a memo ice report that said there's a bad crack that he's working on fixing. So no vehicles, until that gets fixed. But that's telling me that there's, 12, 10 to 12 inches of ice, 10 to 14 inches of ice already in that area where he fishes specifically. So that's great news. And that just goes to show as another anecdotal data point to support this graph and this research here. Another report out of Arneson's Rocky Point, they've actually made it out to 24 to 29 feet with 10 inches of ice. So that just kind of goes to show you how much the conditions can vary from point to point. And with that being said, the most important thing to remember is to listen to the guides, listen to the folks whose roads you're using. And if you're concerned about ice conditions, which you should be, definitely remember to stick to those roads, because that's where these resorts, these guys that are out there, can guarantee you safe ice. Lastly, which is super exciting, is as of today, the Snowmobile trail from Wheeler's Point, where we normally go out of, all the way up to the northwest angle is open, and people are making that trek up. That would be a super cool experience to go all the way up to the angle on snowmobile and maybe fish out of some of the resorts up there. So that's super neat. And what that tells me is there's at least 6 to 7 inches of ice across the lake in order to get up to the angle. So that's super exciting to hear. So that is the December 19th ice forecast and ice report video for Lake of the Woods, Minnesota. I hope these videos are helpful. I hope you're enjoying them. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about these, ice predictive tools, let me know in the comments. Definitely like this video if you enjoy this sort of content. We are going up to Lake of the Woods in January and are super excited to film some videos for you guys. So remember to subscribe for that. And with that being said, thanks for the view. And remember, folks, nobody owns the water. We'll catch you on the next one.